Hi, welcome to Vidcast number 11, I think is where we're at. I am Richard Bliss, the host, and this is my co-host,
Aldo Giazzi. Hello.
Aldo Giazzi.
A little blurry.
A little blurry today. You're under the weather. I feel bad.
That too.
I feel bad about that. Hey, this is kind of a special little episode, isn't it? We're not going to show off any games, anything, but because where were we last week?
We were at DunDraCon, which, for those who don't know, Richard and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and DunDraCon is the longest running of the local Bay Area conventions, like 35 years or something crazy like that. And I go and get a table and show off some of my clients' wares locally. It's not that big, but it's get out and demo, as I always tell people to do.
Sorry, I might have had the sound bad, but we'll see if this works. I'm going to put my headphones on.
Okay.
So we're going to cut to some of those interviews we did with some of the local retailers at DunDraCon to kind of talk to them about.
Yeah, that was the focus. We were going to ask retailers, because there were several there at the show, and say, hey, Mr. Retailer, what do you want most to help a new game get into your store, onto your store shelf, or to help you sell more of the games that, well, really need the selling?
Right, but before we do, we promised that we are going to do a giveaway to one of our subscribers. The numbers have gone up more and more, and so we are going to give away a copy of Guardians of Graxia. Yep. Nice $60 game, and we're going to give it to one of you, our viewers, subscribers. And so, Aldo, who is our lucky winner for this episode?
Our lucky winner is Duarte Pinto. So we'll contact him via his subscription for the webcast, and we'll get his information and we'll send him out a game.
Duarte, congratulations for winning a copy of Guardians of Graxia. We hope you enjoy it, and thank you for subscribing to our podcast, or vidcast, or whatever it is this thing what we're doing. Yay. Okay, let's go ahead and cut over to a few of these interviews that we did at DunDraCon and talk to a few retailers that kind of what's going on, their opinions about Kickstarter, their opinions about game stores, their opinions about games, that type of thing. All right?
Okay.
Let's take a look. Hi, this is Richard Bliss, the Game Whisperer. I'm here at DunDraCon in San Ramon, California, and we've stopped at in the dealer's room to talk to one of the dealers that are here representing the local area. Tell us your name and the store that you're with.
My name is Ruben Timoneri, and I'm with Mythic Games from Santa Cruz, California.
So Santa Cruz, college town down there, and how long have you been doing that?
I've had the shop for almost exactly 1 year now.
Okay, and this is what we're seeing, some of your collection and your games back here. What brought you into kind of deciding to get into the game space? The money. Obviously, it was the money.
I've been a gamer my whole life. Love it. Wanted to do something that I loved. Bringing it together.
Okay, and so you've got a collection here. What made you decide to carry the type of games that you're carrying? I'm seeing a little Nuclear Wars, and we got some Magic, we've got Race for the Galaxy, so a wide range of stuff here. What made you decide what you were going to carry?
As far as bringing to the convention, I just brought a little bit of everything that's at the shop because I didn't 100% know what to bring. And honestly, I've had a number of customers compliment, wow, this looks great, your setup is great. It's kind of like being in your store.
Well, awesome. So here, you started about a year ago, and there's a lot of independent game publishers out there that are wondering what it takes to get into a game store like yours. What advice would you give to them? They're watching the video. They've got this little game that they want to sell in game stores. You got any advice for them?
I do. I have 2 comments for you. If you want to get your board game into my store, 1, give me a free demo copy to play with people. And 2, price your game appropriately. If it's your first time making a board game, don't show up with a $69.99 game that people are going to be cringing when they look at the price at. Come down with a $29.99 game that people have a demo copy to play and see it and think that's reasonable to try it out. I'll carry it, I'll sell it.
So just to be clear, you're not saying that $69.99 games don't sell. What you're saying is if you're a no-name, brand new game, don't be causing people to make that financial decision based on no information about your company or your track record. Is that what it is?
I agree.
Okay, well said. Well said. So we've been here meeting at DunDraCon with Ruben with, what's the name of the store?
Mythic Games.
Mythic Games out of Santa Cruz, California. Ruben, thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
All right, thank you.
Okay, this is Richard Bliss here at DunDraCon. We'll go talk to somebody else. Ready?
Yeah.
Hit the record. Hi, this is Richard Bliss. I'm here at DunDraCon. This time we're visiting with Mike at Black Diamond Games, which is located in Concord, California. Mike, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
So Black Diamond's been around for a while. You're in Concord. tell people who aren't from the Bay Area kind of what area of the Bay that is.
So we're in the Far East Bay. We're in Contra Costa County. We're over kind of in central Concord, across from a lot of the car dealerships up in that area.
And so you're on the east side of Oakland there, on the other side of the hill. Okay.
On the other side of the Caldecott Tunnel.
How long has Black Diamond been around?
7 years.
And you guys, looking at the array of games, you pretty much cover everything, don't you?
Yeah, we do a lot of bit of everything. We're pretty well diversified. We do a lot of board games. We got a role-playing section that's pretty strong. We do a pretty good trade of minis as well.
And in addition, I've been in your store. You've got a fairly large amount of your footprint is dedicated over to gaming and tables. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we have about 3,000 feet of space, and about 1,000 of that is all game space. We're also looking at options of possibly trying to expand into a second floor.
Okay, so you're covering all types of games. You've been in this business for a long time. Kickstarter has brought such a huge energy of money and attention. Mm-hmm. What do you tell somebody who's got a Kickstarter game or they're a new publisher? How do they get your attention to get their game into your store?
So the thing that I've seen the most is online support. I mean, obviously Kickstarter has the ability to do video integration and all that type of thing, but particularly when I see something like online video demos, I was following the Evil Hats.
Fate Core?
No, Fate Core, yes, but they did, what was the other one? Race to Adventure, that had, an entire unboxing of their proof of concept. They had print and play. They had, all the online demos for it. And I thought that also had the ability to also capture a lot of like the early adopters and the alphas that either didn't make it into the Kickstarter, or kind of give you these extra support to do after the Kickstarter is finished and once it gets into the retail distribution, if it goes there.
So what happens if you didn't see my game on Kickstarter and I've got a game and I want to get it into your store? What can I do to kind of get your attention?
Once again, it goes back to kind of that alpha support. So if you have local people willing to do demos, that's something that's worked for us in the past. The guys who did the time travel card game did a lot of demos for us.
The ARC guys.
Yeah, the ARC guys did some demos for us. That was moderately successful for us in our store. Kind of having the online support to be able to have somewhere to point those people, like if we either have an in-store evangelist or somebody doing demos, the ability to then point somebody who's interested to some extra source. I mean, one of the things that I've been really impressed with recently is Fantasy Flight has done a lot of their demos online, and then it integrates into their iPad platform that we have to display in our store. And that, that's essentially the ability to have somebody else sell the board game for me and then be able to do supplemental information afterwards.
So Mike's advice is, get an iPad, give it to all the dealers out there, and they'll sell more of your games.
Or an iPad app, that's also good.
Or an iPad app, which is probably quite doable because now that the iPads are starting to get them around.
Absolutely.
Mike, I certainly appreciate you taking any time. Any last-minute advice to somebody who's getting into the board game space?
The only advice that I have is you really need to find your early adopters and make sure that you capitalize on them as evangelists, because there's a lot of board games out there. There's a lot of signal to noise, but what really works is word of mouth. Playing at conventions, playing at local stores, things of that nature really just gets it into the forefront.
Excellent, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We've been visiting with Mike here at Black Diamond Games in Concord, California, and this is at DunDraCon where we've been, and he's given us a little bit of advice if you've got a new game that you want to bring to market, how you can get the attention of game stores. Mike, again, thank you very much, and we'll go ahead and check in with somebody else here pretty soon. Hi, this is Richard Bliss. We're here at DunDraCon. We decided to stop at Endgame, which is a Oakland-based game store. We're here with Chris Hanrahan. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We're doing good. How's the show been?
It's been fantastic for us.
Excellent. We're here on, day 3, I guess, Sunday. Tell us a little bit about Endgame, kind of the games. We can see behind us, you guys carry pretty much everything.
We do. We try to. We're a full-line game store in Oakland, California. We run events every week, so we have hundreds of people coming in and playing all sorts of different kinds of games, and then we stock them too.
So I've been in your game store. Down below, you have the main retail, and then in the second floor, how much of your store is dedicated to actually gaming area?
We have 1,650 square feet of gaming area and like 2,250 of retail space. So
so a good chunk of that.
Yeah.
So tell me what we're doing. We're here talking because over this past year and a half, a lot of energy has been pumped into the game industry by Kickstarter.
I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, and I've been to your store. You guys carry a lot of those Kickstarter games.
Yeah.
if somebody's got a new game, they're looking to bring it to market, what kind of advice do they need to get your attention, to get that game into your store?
What really helps is if you actually treat it like a product instead of a game. I sell products, which are of course games, but you have to give me the sales materials to sell it.
So what's for a person who's kind of new to that idea? I design games, I don't do marketing.
It's rough.
What's sales material that you're talking about?
Well, you need to be able to pitch the game to somebody in 10 seconds. So what really helps me is to write up like a 10-second pitch, which you would use to sell the game to somebody that you are walking up to. So tell me a little bit about it, write that up, put it in some sales materials, get that information clearly marked on the back of the box, because I don't know how many products you've seen lately that don't actually show any game on the back of a box, but tell you a little bit of a story. It's honestly going and looking at good examples of good products and taking some of those lessons and putting them in our hands to make it easy to sell.
So can I put you on the spot? Sure. What would you consider one of those good products for them to take a look at?
On the back of a game, look at Dixit. Would be a good one to do. Settlers is okay. When Evil Hat comes out with Race to Adventure, that's a stellar back to a product.
Excellent, and that's not the first time we've heard that. Those guys over at Evil Hat, they seem to know what they're doing when it comes to.
Be really honest and say I'm affiliated with Evil Hat, so that is kind
of. Oh, there we go. But you're not the first person to actually bring up Evil Hat and that project.
It's really good to hear. That went pretty well, but having a retailer background, it kind of helped me make some of the product more of a product.
So do you see more of these individual small indies coming up and finding an opportunity of having their game on your shelf space?
Absolutely. I mean, the crowdsource funding is making an actual kind of allowing people to produce things that people want by, not just taking pre-orders, but taking actual money, which is huge. I mean, it's fantastic.
And feedback, because, how often does the backers say, you know what, it'd be nicer if it did this, and it's almost beta testing while they're funding.
When we did the Fate Core Kickstarter, we spent 2 months in feedback. I mean, that's why the day you pledged, you got the PDF of the game, so you can send us a month's worth of feedback. So, you have a lot of tools available to you in the Kickstarter model.
If you were a publisher, if you were a retail store, because a lot of our audience is retail stores,
sure.
Would you encourage them to do what you've done, and that is to jump right into Kickstarter and actually look at finding a way to fund their a project on Kickstarter?
It really depends on the project, to be perfectly honest. Things like the big, huge board games, which are having like a year turnaround, maybe not so much, because that's really a cash flow impact to a small retail store. But things that look promising, things that you think you're going to see in a couple months, probably, yeah. I do it myself,
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking a few minutes. So we've been talking with Chris Hanrahan.
Yeah, you got
hey,
it.
I got it one.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Chris is with Endgame out of Oakland, California. And oh, by the way, how long have you guys been around?
We are going on our 12th year, so we've been doing okay.
Doing okay. So if you're ever coming through Oakland and you want to stop and do some gaming, they've got a place for you to go. Chris, thanks again.
Hey, man, thank you.
Appreciate it. So there you go. There was a little bit of coverage, kind of short and sweet. A few the key vendors that were supporting DunDraCon. So what's our takeaway from that, Aldo?
Well, you said short and sweet, but I think it was great. They got to the point, and each one of them hit, they didn't fumble with the question. They knew exactly what that answer had to be. And, pretty much all of them were universal, about getting them as much information, as many tools as humanly possible.
Perfect. All right, and I think that's going to be our show, because next episode, this was just kind of a special with DunDraCon falling on top of our normal schedule. But next time we'll be up with several new games. What are we going to be showing next time?
We're going to have 2 new board game releases and 3 new RPG releases. And one of them actually is an Indiegogo board game, and the other board game is a Kickstarter. I have some data on that one that I'll throw onto the show. That's pretty interesting, actually. And the other RPGs are standard releases from some companies that are already out there with product.
Perfect. You've been watching Aldo Ghiazzi from Impressions and myself, Richard Bliss, the Game Whisperer, as we've talked a little bit about the industry, and we've talked actually several retailers. Thanks for watching for this special edition of our vidcast. We will catch you next time. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.